football, UEFA made a announcement yesterday. That is why we wanted to do this yesterday, but we are doing this today, right? On Chandra. So Ramzan Mubarak, everyone. And
Ramzan Mubarak.
yeah,
Yeah,
so UEFA made an announcement
Happy
yesterday.
Hanukkah.
Yeah. So, Dayan, did you hear the announcement? What do you think that what do you think of the
Well,
announcement?
honestly speaking, the news was broken to me by Mohsen, and I'd actually like Mohsen to start off with it because,
Okay.
he was the guy who blew the whistle between us. He
Please.
gets the right to speak on it. And then I'm going to.
Well, basically, what happened was there's still confusion that how do the clubs qualify for the Champions League next season?
Yeah.
Because there's some leagues who want to null and void the leagues. I mean, for example, let's talk about Belgium and the Netherlands.
Yeah.
They've voided the league, the Eredivisie, and Ajax and Alkmaar AZ were tied on 56 points from 34 matches, and they just decided there won't be any relegations or promotions, and there won't be any winners announced. So how do they go about it? There was one proposal which Hassan confirmed has been rejected. That was on the basis of the coefficient ranking, which would have meant then that Manchester United was third and they would have qualified for the Champions League, and Chelsea was 10th. They wouldn't qualify for the Champions League.
You
Then.
know what the ridiculous thing in that is?
And Jadon Sancho
Last
comes in.
several
Talk about
years-
Fernandes and Jadon Sancho.
In the last several years, Chelsea have won multiple Europa Leagues and the Champions League, and Arsenal have done jack shit. But Arsenal would have finished well above us in the fucking coefficient.
Oh my
Sorry,
God.
in coefficient.
Yeah.
Makes
It
no
was
sense.
it was rumored because this was being done because of Atletico Madrid, because Atletico Madrid was down in the dumps, and they were saying that they've done really well in the past few years, so they've used the coefficient for that or whatever. But they've decided not to go ahead with that. One, they've said that firstly they said that if the league is finished, then whatever the rankings are, then that would be the championship.
Poor Atletico, I mean, imagine knocking out Liverpool and then finding out you're not in the Champions League.
Yeah, because they're level on points, but I think
And Mohsen sitting there and going like,
Yeah, man.
yeah, even Liverpool.
That's what you get.
Yeah, although Liverpool would be champions, and so they will qualify, but UEFA has said that nobody would get a hand me down even if they're in.
You know what the best thing in all of this is? I know I shouldn't be celebrating COVID at all. Like, that's a horrible thing.
Yeah, Chelsea qualifies.
Technically, no, we never got knocked out of the Champions League.
So UEFA said that.
Bayern and their 3-0 win at Stamford Bridge can suck it.
and then that's Chelsea for you these days.
Yeah, but UEFA said
And
that
then
even
it's
if you're still
unfortunately Chelsea.
even if you're still in the even if you're still in the Champions League, you do not get automatic qualification for your next year.
I know, but it's just a personal.
I mean, it saves grace.
Bayern didn't knock us out.
He's saving faces, man. That's why I said, and that's Chelsea for you, these days.
Yeah, and
I'm not even gonna hide it.
And
man.
Manchester United might get it into the Champions League if City's appeal, is thrown out.
Do you, what do you guys think over, I'd like to have your opinion over, City's situation and the Champions League ban that they have. Do you see that being removed anytime soon? And
Yeah,
then
it would be
them
removed.
in the Champions League?
It's going to be delayed. I mean, the financial, the FFP is suspended at the moment, so they're not looking into it. I don't see City getting the ban for next season.
Yeah, I don't see them getting a ban because on one agency cleared them and the other agency did not clear them. So they're going to argue that, hey, how did the other agency clear me? So that's one. Secondly, PSV had a similar issue and PSV got cleared. So I don't.
Yeah, but my
there's a
question
preference.
is their current status? I'm sorry, I haven't really been following it the latest on this. But isn't their current status that they are banned and they have to appeal that?
Yeah, they're in appeal. When you're in appeal, I think you're a lawyer, but when you're in appeal,
But
they
you
have
have
been-
to ask for it to be suspended.
yeah, the decision is suspended.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, the decision
This is suspended.
The decision is
Oh,
suspended.
then, Dhyan, I apologize, but it looks like your heart is about to break. Because there's no way the Court of Arbitration for Sport is going to hear this.
Are you guys sure the decision's
Yeah,
suspended?
the decision is suspended.
It is. It is. That's why still a lot of players are linked to Man City because there's no definite decision on the Champions League ban.
I wish there was like a website or something from which we could find this out. You know, something online.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If only I had an electronic device in my hand right now.
Yeah, we can build it for you if you want.
Be creative during the lockdown.
Yeah, no.
As in,
Guys, I made this thing Google yesterday.
uh,
You guys check it out.
Okay.
sorry.
So Mohammad Ali, what do you think about Chelsea? I mean, your club, you're the first time on the show, so let the fans know about you and Chelsea. So what do you think is going to happen? I mean, is Chelsea still in a good position to attract players if the transfer market does take place?
It's a tricky one. So we've had this whole feel good image youth revolution thing that has managed to dupe some young up and coming kids into thinking that they have a long term future at Chelsea. But obviously, as soon as Frank is sacked and the next manager comes in, the dream's gonna die. And with that sort of uncertainty and the way that we've been playing and the fact that Frank isn't, so it can work both ways. There are some players that look up to Frank in the current up and coming generation that might be interested in joining. And we do have the money. Or at least we had it pre-COVID. I don't know what the situation is going to be now. So we might be able to track them. But then at the same time, if you look at the market trends right now, and I know this is just rumors and conjecture, but like if you look at the Jadon Sancho situation, he's willing to go to United by the looks of the papers compared to Chelsea, even though United and the Europa League and Chelsea aren't. So that doesn't speak too well about our ability to track players.
But do you think Hudson Odoi and Frank Lampard can convince him because he's a Chelsea fan since childhood and Odoi is his friend and I think they also played in the same youth team or together.
I think
Odoi and Sancho.
they've been trying to do those things, but I get the feeling that Sancho is a little bit more mature than to base his decisions on these things.
I'd like to ask Dan one thing. Dan, I mean, imagine if you were Sancho, you support a club since childhood, and then you get an offer from them, but then there's another title rival club who also, I mean, offers you. So, what do you think? How can one not go to his favorite childhood club and join one of their rivals? So, what do you think is a factor behind this?
Well, I feel like, even if you look at Sir Alex Ferguson's time, when Wayne Rooney was probably the only one left in the club who we could recall as a brilliant striker up front, you might have heard the rhetoric that, he was becoming poison for the backroom staff. And that's primarily when Wayne Rooney started questioning, the hunger of the club to actually win big. In recent times, if you look at where Manchester United stands at the moment with a lot of talent coming in, I feel like, if you look at Jadon Sancho, one of the questions, if United is currently not in the Champions League, one of the questions that Jadon Sancho is definitely going to ask, people around him and himself is, where does he see United in probably the next 2 years? And if you look at the current quality that's being added, the change in attitude in the players, the change in culture at the club, there's been a significant improvement in everything, even and it's all translating in the performances that they're putting up, in the ground as well. So I feel like, if you're looking at a player like Jadon Sancho, who's got that hunger to make it big, this is probably, the time to actually come into the club and become, a superstar there in terms of, being a legend of the club, even if he vouches to leave or decides to leave in possibly the next 5
And
years.
there's also the element, right, that in United, Sancho has a distinct place because right now his competition is Daniel James, and with due respect to Daniel James, obviously.
Yeah, 100%,
Right.
as in.
Or he can even play on the other flank comfortably. At Chelsea, they just signed Hakim Ziyech, who plays in a similar position. And they have a lot of promising young talent that they've invested a lot of money in. So Pulisic came in for 60 million euros. They've got Hudson Odoi as well, who has been clamoring for a move, and they convinced him on the basis that, we're going to play you regularly. So maybe there's more opportunity.
one question that I definitely ask you guys is that whenever a manager goes into Chelsea, as compared to not ignoring the current issues that have been going on at United, where would you possibly be more inclined to make a judgment that a manager is going to stick for the long run rather than the short run, Chelsea or United? You know, I feel like me as a person would definitely go for United. That if there's a manager that ticks at the club, he's probably going to stay there for longer as compared to Chelsea. So my point is, even if you now translate that kind of judgment onto the player, and if you look at Jadon Sancho coming in, he's going to be thinking, where can he get more certainty? Where can he get more, a
I mean,
balanced future
I'm
in
not
terms of
gonna
longevity as well.
I'm not gonna deny that there's probably no club in the world that I would say is, less stable than Chelsea when it comes to managerial situations.
100%.
But as far as United are concerned, I feel like in recent years at least, this isn't entirely true for them because they
Yeah,
have
I
but
had
they
a
agree.
lot
but
of
they still
success.
stick around. The average time is still a lot longer than Chelsea.
As in, if
Oh
you
yeah,
look at
I
what
think the
If
average
they
time
give it,
anywhere is a lot
uh,
longer than Chelsea.
if you look at what happened with Louis Van Gaal, if the same thing would have happened possibly at Chelsea, he'd probably be fired, 3 months into the job.
yeah.
If you look at Jose Mourinho, the time that he got to stick by, he'd probably be fired by the time he clashed with the owner of Chelsea. You know, on the other hand, you had Ed Woodward, tolerating him for a whole for half a season. So there's a stark difference between the two clubs, the kind of
There
tolerance
is.
level that they have. When you're talking about a legend of a club that's come back to manage the club, and surprisingly enough, people weren't expecting him to take, but in recent times things are starting to take for him. You feel like the general sentiment at the helm is that he's going to stick for longer, and things are going to be more stable.
Okay. Sorry, I have to cut you guys, all of you guys over here, because we're almost out of time. We got just 1 minute remaining. So I'm sorry to everyone. We can't, keep this discussion going on. We've been going around for 40 minutes now.
Hassan, say something cool as a parting thought.
Yeah. So everybody, do remember to like and share the video. That's my cool bit. That's the coolest thing I could come up with.
Hassan's the cool bit. You guys should like and subscribe so you can keep on seeing him and Mohsin.
Yeah,
And
Mohsin
Yes,
Dayan.
And
And you.
Diane, and
and, and they happen
And
to tag
rest
along with.
assured, you don't have to see me
Yeah.
no,
from
no,
here on in.
they can see you on keeping score. So guys, do subscribe to Muhammad Ali's channel as well,
Yeah,
keeping score.
Yes,
we've been plugging in his channel, for a while now, keeping score.
and
We're
Hassan,
copying all his ideas.
Yeah.
whenever Hassan talks about Chelsea, he always talks
Keep
about
track
Image.
on keeping score.
keeping
Hassan's,
score,
Hassan's great
keeping
like
score.
that. I've,
Uh,
I've noticed that. These are three of our four total viewers. Fourth being my mother. So I'm on the lookout for a fifth, guys. Please do check me out.
Please do like and Hassan. So anything else from your end before you finish, Hassan? So we'd like to have a Leicester update as well next time. It's been quite a
Definitely.
long time.
that's
You
I'll
heard
give
sponsored.
anything about Leicester?
I'll give one next time because I'm not
Last
prepared.
time we heard they were winning the league. Next thing we know, they're coming out with a cure for corona.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. So we're almost out of time. The timer is going on. So all right,
Okay,
everybody, stay
okay,
home, stay
guys.
safe, take care. Hafiz.
Love.
Bye
Thank
bye.
Have a
you.
good one, guys.